So, quick video about David Hogg and some of the things he's been saying, because, I'm going to go ahead and say this flat out. I do not agree with his movement. Many people don't. They call this the March for Our Lives. They say the younger generation is wanting to do away with many American rights, including the Second Amendment, and that is not entirely true. The mainstream media would have you believe it, but then again, the mainstream media would have you believe quite a few things that aren't necessarily true. And I do mean this from both angles, both the conservative side and from the Democratic side. So let's go ahead and take a look at something. Now, David Hogg has been saying a lot of nonsense for a while. However, one of the things that he is striking at the heart at is something that I think we all need to look at as important. Quoting him, he said, quote, "They do not care about these kids at all because they see the dollar signs, and all they care about is re-election," end quote. Now, that is a very important thing to note, because that is, for the most part, true of a lot of American politicians. Now, if you want an example of this of the Democratic side, ask anybody from Haiti how they feel about the Clintons and how much their loyalty is. I guarantee you that you can get a dollar figure just by going through their finances. So, the reason that these people go into the United States government is because the United States government is an immensely powerful organization, quite possibly one of the most powerful that the planet, that our species have ever seen. So naturally, the people that would seek to abuse power are going to find their way into these positions. However, this is where I think it gets really interesting with David Hogg. Now, David Hogg and his people are going after the Second Amendment. Something that'll never be gotten rid of. You cannot get rid of it. It is infeasible. Even if you wanted to, it is pretty much infeasible. And a lot of people want to, but not the vast majority. And I would say, in order for that to happen, it would be the vast majority of the American people that would have to agree to that. Which, of course, is in the spirit of our government to begin with. The will of the people is what creates the law. In theory, and, for the most part, I'm happy to say, in practice. Now, granted, there are things about this government that have been controlled by private interests and the will of a few. However, no system is perfect, and we simply need to work on that as time goes on. Very much in the same way that America has been extending rights to more and more people as time goes on. Nothing is perfect. Nothing ever starts out perfect. And if it starts out perfect, that means the only way for it to go is down. America started off as a beautiful idea with a flawed execution, and so far that execution has only gotten more refined as time goes on. But, let's get back to David Hogg before I go off on another tangent. So, the political left is supporting David Hogg and his like, the kids that are trying to take away the Second Amendment. Now, honestly, we could sit here and theorize all day as to why the political left wants to get rid of firearms, and I may or may not talk about that at some point in time. Who knows? But the point is that what David Hogg and his people are doing is that they are not necessarily only going after the Second Amendment or the people who carry legal firearms. What they're doing is that they're actually questioning those in power, with the power, to make, support, and push legislation. This is good, because what we have is that we have a very large group of younger Americans that are questioning the motivations of their government. They're questioning the actions of their government when their actions do not match to their high-minded rhetoric. This is very good, and I do not think that the political left understands the nature of the beast that they are creating. Because it's all well and good when people like David Hogg are, say, going after Cruz. It's all well and good when they're going after Republicans. But ask yourselves, liberal Democrats, are you truly, and I do want you to consider this, are you truly so arrogant that you think that they won't come for you next? And are you truly so deluded into thinking that the political left is not just as full as corruption as the political right? You are digging your own grave, and you are giving people like Hogg and Miss Gomez, you are giving these people the shovel. So that's my little rant there about the entire David Hogg deal. Now, unfortunately, we do still have mass shootings in this country, and that is a problem. It's a problem that I think has a lot of very deep roots that are, even if you could magically remove all firearms, it would not solve, because we've also had mass stabbings. We have had people run over other people with cars. There is any number of ways to use any number of household items as a tool of destruction. You can give 100 peaceful people 100 fully loaded rifles and nothing will happen. You can take 100 violent people and drop a rock in the middle of the room and someone is going to die. The fact of the matter is that America's shooting problem runs very deep. It runs very deep, and we need to address the underlying problems within our society that are causing it. This Second Amendment firearms issue, it's a red herring. Don't pay attention to it. And once again, remember, even though they might not have the right targets, the fact that these younger children of America, the future voters and the future adults of America, the fact that they are questioning government is a good thing. They need to watch. They need to not trust blindly. Because as we have seen, the people in power will absolutely skim off the top. They will absolutely use their positions to their own personal interest, and even worse, to the interest of foreign donors or privatized companies that have no borders, but that give very hefty donations. I've been Mr. Just One More Voice, and I hope you all have a good day.